Baltimore Ravens hosting the Detroit Lions. What an incredible football game. Will it be a shootout? Who's going to cover? Any prop bets? How do we make money? Joe Raineri and myself are going to take apart that game on the best betting show ever. We're also going to look at NFL Week 4. What do we need to bet now? College football Week 5, same thing. Joe's going to yell and scream about the Rams. I'm going to celebrate the Eagles. We've got our MLB rundown coming and our mailbag segment. Everyone, thank you for watching the best betting show ever. You could see it Monday to Friday. Joe, how was your weekend? How you doing, brother?
It was kind of a frustrating weekend for the most part there. It's like playing with your food, Prez. Saturday, you get beat by a couple of less than 60-second bombs and Hail Marys that get you. And then yesterday, there were a lot of people like you celebrating, but there were a lot of people like me scratching their head going, you got to be kidding me at the end of those 1 o'clock games there when it comes to special teams. Unreal.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never seen so many blocked kicks in my life, and so many of them not only turned games around, Joe, but turned bets around. Obviously, the New York Jets one helped the New York Jets cover, leverage or not, and Philadelphia covered as well because of that, and on and on and on. I mean, not only that, but people might not even realize there were 2 blocked field goals in that Rams game. So unbelievable. You think there's a reason for that, Joe?
Yes, I do. I think lack of a preseason. I think coaching isn't what it used to be. And I think a lot of these games early on in the season reflect that. Yeah, fundamentally, we see it in baseball too, Prez, right? Lot more errors, a lot of guys can't push runners over. Same thing in the NFL. Like, there is no excuse for turning the ball over 5 times in a game, and there's no excuse to get not 1, but 2 field goals blocked in a game. Absolutely disgusting.
Well, we're definitely going to talk about that 5 turnover game in Pittsburgh and New England later on in the show. We're going to break down the Monday Night Football game in great detail. Before we get into that, I just want to say that we lost a great person this past weekend, Dave SHARAPAN. And Dave worked with WagerTalk. He was part of our family. He was also on the Sports Grid Network, but none of that matters. Who cares where he worked? Dave was a loving husband and a father of 3 beautiful daughters. And he was an incredibly active father. All of his kids played sports, softball, baseball. He was there every week. Anytime anybody came into Las Vegas, he would make time out of his day to meet them at the casino. He was happy, jovial, friendly, loving, and kind. We lost a great one. I talked about it a bit yesterday and I got very emotional. I'm a day removed, so I am not tearing, but I did. And lots of love to Dave and his family. It is, Joe, it is horrible. And it happened, cancer, it was so fast.
I mean, 3 months ago, I was doing shows with him on Sports Grid there. And then yesterday, we had to make the announcement that he passed away. And I mean, just so sad on so many levels. And one of the best, not only behind the counter, but out on the streets too. I don't know anybody that ever met Dave that was not a fan, who didn't feel like they were welcomed, like you had known the guy your entire life. He was just one of the truly good guys and will absolutely be missed. And thoughts and prayers with his girls and his wife. Just terrible all the way around.
Yeah, it's just, it's so horrible. And he really was such a special dude. But he loved sports betting. And if he was here now, he would do this show. So let's go. Monday Night Football, cue that clock. Joe, 82% of the bets coming in on Baltimore right now, 75% on the money. On the over, it was 51.5. It's now at 53. There's a 54 out there as well. They can't get this game high enough, and I understand that. With that said, where I'm going to go in this game, Joe, is I'm going to look to take both team totals over. So instead of playing the single total over and having one bet, I'm going to get greedy and try go 2-0 tonight in the NFL. Worst case, I go 1-1, Joe. We got over 29.5 for Baltimore. They regularly can get into the 40s. We have over 23.5 for Detroit. They put 51 up last week. I think the better bet is the 2 team totals over than the game over. Sidewise, I would lean on Detroit because I think their offense is good enough for that backdoor opportunity. Plus, they can keep up with anybody. So I lean on Detroit, and I like both team totals over.
Yeah, I mean, you got a point there, Prez. The Ravens right now, 25-11 to their team total over the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
And that's not a fluke. Not to mention Lamar Jackson, his last 21 starts under center for the Ravens, the over is 16-5 in the full game. That is the best over percentage of any quarterback in the NFL. So if you're going to regularly put up 40 points, then the team total over is probably the smartest bet you can make there, Prez, at least as far as the percentages and the trends go. The Ravens betting their team total over, and if Detroit gives you anything close to what you got last week, those are 2 pretty good bets there, Prez.
There we go. Joe Raineri, Lawrence Pressman, hit that like button, everybody. Okay, Joe, let's move our attention to what did we learn? And right off the bat, I'll tell you the Cleveland Browns, holy moly, their defense, unbelievable, and they got it done. The Indianapolis Colts, maybe they are for real. I understand it was only the Titans, but man, this team's punted once. The Vikings, this team is deadly, with or without a quarterback. Steelers stink, Joe. 5 turnovers. They could barely get out of New England. Philadelphia Eagles might sweep. I know you disagree. How good are the Bucs, Joe?
Yeah, well, I don't know. You'd rather be lucky than good in that spot there, Prez. But listen, the one thing that I learned this weekend is it's a good reminder is don't overreact to variance. There are a lot of things that you can do when handicapping, okay? One of them is there's only so much you can do when variance comes in. Your Eagles pick, yes, you won it, but that was not the right handicap. The right handicap was the Rams had won that game, should have won that game, but ultimately the ridiculous variance of not 1 but 2 field goals being blocked and then having it returned by a 500-pound man is just the most unbelievable thing ever. So don't overreact to the outcome. Was the handicap correct? Were you right in the way you processed the game and came up with the play? If that's correct, that's more important in the long term than the short-term win or loss, Prez. That's the big thing to remember.
That is well said, and I clearly did handicap that game half correct, as in the second half. Jaguars, Texans. Joe, you were on the Texans yesterday. Is this team? I'm looking at this team as my survivor pick in week 4.
Listen, another one of these situations, it's becoming abundantly clear that Houston has a quarterback problem with C.J. Stroud. Now, having said that, they still should have had an opportunity to win that game. How you get the ball to Nico Collins in the open field and somehow he gets tackled and turns the ball over to the Jags is beyond me. But again, another one of those situations where give credit where credit was due. Jacksonville made a few more plays than Houston, but where is the offense coming from Houston, Prez, is my quabble.
Yeah, got to look at the under in Houston games.
Yep.
Joe Raineri, NFL Week 4 is in front of us. And right now it's a matter of what do we, if we're going to make bets, what do we do immediately? And I'm going to tell you guys, if you like the under in the Tampa Bay Philadelphia game, it came out at 45. It's now at 44. 93% of the tickets have been written on the under. Bet that immediately. Exactly the same with Seattle playing Arizona. 86% of the tickets have been written on Seattle already. So if you do plan on betting them, get down immediately. Houston, Joe, we just spoke about them, -7. It's now -7.5. I would wait. Once you've missed that 7, you got to wait it out. If it goes to 8, so be it. and 93% of the money is on the over in the Rams Indianapolis game, which makes total sense, Joe. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, well, that was the biggest move today, Prez, that I saw was the Rams opened up 46.5 in that total, and it has gone through the roof, like you said. It's almost a 3-point move here over the last 48 hours, which is actually kind of crazy. But the Thursday night game to me was fascinating because watching Arizona fumble that game away and melt down with not just the play of Kyler Murray, but the play calling and the unnecessary risks taken by that team. It's kind of hard. They got a ton of injuries in the secondary. Now, will Sam Darnold be able to take advantage of those? Because, I don't know, Mac Jones did, and that was the reason why they were able to move the ball into field goal range and win it. So, a lot of question marks with Arizona. They should have won yesterday, but now they've got an even more harder game because this is a better defense than they just saw yesterday in Seattle.
Yep, that is for sure. And that over in the Indianapolis Rams game, quite the line move. Joe, let's turn our attention to college football week 5. Right off the bat, I want to talk about Duke. Joe, I was on Duke. Lions were on Duke. This is a team that's getting heavily bet. 89% of the money on Duke, 89% of the money on the over, 90% of the money is on Boston College. So that is important because Duke is at 5.5. We can wait. Boston College is at 6.5. If you're going to bet it, you got to bet it immediately. And same with Air Force at -6, Joe. We do not want to see a 7 go up there. Kansas -6. Money being taken all over on Kansas against Cincinnati. Again, it's a 6, so get that bet in immediately. And USC, Joe, sitting on a 7 and is about to tip to 7.5. So you might want to get that in. What are you seeing out there?
No, please don't even get me started. USC is up by more than 3 touchdowns in a game in which, Prez, I had them laying 17. And with 1:30 left against the backups, Michigan State completes a Hail Mary 80-yard touchdown to screw me there. But make no mistake, that USC offense, that is a legit offense, and they are going to get some attention. And by the way, that Cincinnati-Kansas game is fascinating because you just watched Kansas, destroy West Virginia, right? But Cincinnati didn't play last week. So out of sight, out of mind, Prez, are we seeing the money come to Kansas?
Good point.
Cincinnati had off. So
that's a great point.
Is that an overreaction?
Well, we're going to find out. What about Georgia and Alabama here? 86% of the tickets on Georgia, 91 on the over. That's a sexy game.
Yep.
You think it's going to hold at 3?
No, I don't. I think it's going to drop down before it's all said and done. And I also don't think you're going to have to wait very long also for the line to move with the game that's on Friday night between Florida State and Virginia. So if you like Florida State, I would bet it now against Virginia coming up on Friday.
Yeah, and there are 7.5s out there and an 8 on Florida State. But only about 52% of the money on Florida State. Houston is taking the most right now for Friday night. 83% of the money on them. Joe, our bad beat section of the show. Before we get into that, I just want to let everyone know, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, please subscribe to our channel. Look, I had no bad beats personally for myself this past weekend. I was on the Ole Miss over, and I don't want to say it was a bad beat, but I mean everything had to go wrong for that game to go under. You look at opening the game with 3 field goals. And then you have that touchdown pass at the end of the second half in the basket dropped. That was a tough one for me. Obviously, I had the Philadelphia Eagles, and that got me there. But I was not the recipient of any bad beats this week. You were.
Oh, yeah, it was brutal. I mentioned that USC game, which was just absolutely laughable. Arkansas giving up an 18-point lead to Memphis might have been the most disgusting game of the weekend. And we forgot another big one, Prez, here. Anybody like me that had teasers associated with the Green Bay Packers? Yeah, that you want to talk about bad beats. Exactly how did the Packers lose that game again? I have no idea. But again, right handicap, wrong result. Don't dwell too much on it in the short term.
I mean, with that said, Joe, they were basically the same in yardage. Cleveland has outgained the two previous opponents, including Baltimore. From a teaser perspective, I can understand, but from a point spread perspective, there was never a moment where Cleveland was the right pick.
No, well, no, from a spread perspective, you got the 8.5.
There was never a moment where Green Bay was the right pick.
Which is what made the teaser so much more appealing, because you should have won by at least 3 there, Green Bay.
Yeah. Who's the first coach going to get fired?
In NFL?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I still think it could be the Miami head coach, although there were some gross efforts over
Tennessee,
the weekend.
Maybe
Tennessee effort, Dallas, although
no,
I mean there are some efforts that you just got to scratch your head and go, how much longer are they going to be around? But maybe Raheem Morris, if they lay another egg like that and get blanked by Carolina, I don't know. Atlanta could be looking for a new head coach by the time the season's over.
Joe Raineri. We're doing the best betting show ever, guys. The show's up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We put it up at 1 p.m. Eastern on WagerTalk TV. We are going to try do a live show shortly. We'll keep you posted on that. Art DiCesare joins us Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He's a risk manager over at the Westgate. He'll tell us where all the bets are. Joe, it's your MLB rundown. You have 2 minutes, every game on the board. My Blue Jays are off tonight. Go.
Everybody is off tonight here, Prez. You only got 3 Major League Baseball games on tap, and the first one is going to involve 2 teams that are really racing here at the end of the week to go on vacation, with the Washington Nationals taking on the Braves. This would have been a hell of a pitching matchup 3 months ago, but now we get Mackenzie Gore taking on Chris Sale. The Braves have been absolutely red hot here over the last couple of weeks. In fact, they have been a giant pain in the ass to the Detroit Tigers over the weekend, who now all of a sudden find themselves guessing as to whether or not they're going to make it to the postseason. Both these teams, though, have had their moments in the second half. I think Chris Sale, though, is going to be a little too much for this Nats team. The Brewers and the Padres, Peralta versus Pivetta here tonight. Listen, Milwaukee has been red hot. They're already locked up the National League Central, likely the best record in Major League Baseball. Pivetta is a guy that has been much better at Petco than he has been on the road. It's a low total, but I think it's a low total for a reason. Peralta, by the way, has given up 0 or 1 run in 6 of his last 7 starts. I like the first 5 under in this spot. I don't think with the Padres firmly in that number 2 wild card spot, are we really worried about them making the postseason? I don't think so, but I think the under in the first 5 is a good look. And then could be the end of Justin Verlander's career here at 42 years old. He takes them out for the Giants, taking on the Cardinals and McGreevy. And you got to believe Verlander, who has pitched much better than his record says it, especially over the last month. I think he and the Giants want to go out in style for him. McGreevy's a pitch-to-contact guy. That's not going to be well for the Cardinals. I think the Giants hitters show up, and I think Verlander gets that final start and the win for the Giants. And that is your 3-game Major League Baseball rundown.
Joe Raineri, every day we do a mailbag segment. Guys, we obviously ask you to hit the like button. We obviously ask you to subscribe to our channel, but commenting is crucial. The word of today is chapstick. Chapstick.
Yes,
there we
chapstick.
Chapstick.
I love it. Chap
you
it
got
up.
nothing to say. Just put chapstick up in the comments section.
Love it.
Yeah, and we read every comment. And we do try to get to respond. So, Joe, we had a question from one of our listeners a Bill Siebert. And Bill writes, I love the show, but I'm facing a dilemma. Prez, Joe, and Art, I have Seattle to win the division. The parlay is 5-1, and they're offering me 15-1 on a cash out. So, Bill, I am floored that they are offering you 15-1, given that Seattle is unlikely going to win the division. I would take that cash out faster than I wrote the comment. I wouldn't even have written the comment. I would have been too busy taking the cash out. Joe Raineri, I mean, that is way to go, Bill. 15-1, and you're holding a losing ticket?
I just want to know what in the hell was the other half of that parlay that they're still offering you half price on the full ticket there. So that must have been one hell of a first leg of that parlay that's already in the books for you to be getting 15-1 in a division in which you're not even leading in the division here. The 49ers, although banged up here, still have the easiest schedule among all the rest of the teams there. So the Rams aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So if you can get 15-1, I think if they lose to Arizona on Thursday, what do you think that number is going to be? It's not going to be 15-1. So cash it out while you can here. But I want to know what the hell that first leg was, Prez.
Yeah, it's actually unbelievable. Joe Raineri, one of our listeners, complimented you on your take on Philadelphia's offense. You were dead right for the first half of that game.
Yep.
Then we got, just because he's a putz doesn't mean he knows how to screw. I don't know what this person's talking about. But that's really it, dude. Yep. It's New Year's for me and all my brethren tonight, Joe. So I'm getting together with the family. I think it's your 5,700 and something or other.
Nice. Kudos to you, man. Mayors to another 5,700 years, I think.
Yeah, 5,700 years of nothing but joy for my people. Joe Raineri, I love you, my brother.
Yes.
Me, Joe, and Art tomorrow. Guys, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.